The Motor City now tied for first place in the division. But today the Red Hot Sox go against the Tigers' #1 hurler in Justin Verlander. The big weekend for the division lead begins next on Fox Sports Detroit. Today at Comerica Park, the top two teams in the American League Central will square off. The Tigers and White Sox in a dead heat for the top spot, separated by just a percentage point. The Minnesota Twins 2.5 back in the Central. How have the White Sox gotten into a first-place tie? Well, with their offense. In their last 28 games, 19 wins. They've hit 42 home runs, and they're averaging almost 6 runs per ball game. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us for the start of a big series, start of a big day. We've got 2 games for you here this afternoon, doubleheader action. And the Tigers coming into this doubleheader, Rod, they've got some pretty good news. One of their big bats is finally back in the lineup.
Well, this team has really struggled for the better part of July from an offensive standpoint, and one of the days that Jim Leland would hope would come soon has come today. They get their talented bat, switch hitting Carlos Guillen, bat in the batting order. They sent Josh Anderson down to the minor leagues. He was struggling, but it's good to see Carlos back. Jim Leland told me before the game the reports he got on Carlos is he's swinging the bat awfully well from the left side, which they will need in their batting order here today.
And more good news, Justin Verlander goes in game 1. That's big for the Tigers. He's been very, very good this season. They need to get off to a good start in the series.
I couldn't think of a better guy taking the ball this afternoon for the Tigers and Jim Leland. There's a different buzz in this ballpark this afternoon. When Verlander walked down to the bullpen, the fans were up. They were cheering. Of course, Verlander has that scowl on his face. He deserved a better fate 5 days ago in New York. Probably the most hostile environment to go in and pitch in all of baseball, and he was simply dominant. Gave up just 2 runs, but the offense didn't show up. Therefore, Verlander did not get the win. He has been simply sensational all year.
Justin Verlander already has a complete game win over the Chicago White Sox. That was back in June at U.S. Cellular Field. We'll see how he does here today against Chicago. Big weekend of baseball coming up. We are ready. I know you're ready. The Tigers and White Sox, they're ready to get it on as well. Stay with us. Game 1 of the doubleheader coming up next. Yesterday against the Tampa Bay Rays, and the Tigers and White Sox getting ready to do it today. If Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, Make sure you bring a copy of the box score to Arby's tomorrow. Get a free regular roast beef sandwich. You can find a copy of the box score in your local newspaper or at foxsports.com in the Major League Baseball section. Well, Isaac Guillen, the last time we saw the White Sox, he was complaining his team wasn't playing all that well, and all of a sudden, they are in a virtual lock for first place with the Tigers. And his starting lineup looks like this. Dwayne Wise in center field leads it off. He'll be followed by Alexi Ramirez, the shortstop. Jermaine Dye is in right. Jim Thome, career against the Tigers, 59 home runs. Paul Konerko is at first base. A.J. Pierzynski will catch their bottom three. Carlos Quentin back in the lineup off the DL. Chris Getz. And then Gordon Beckham for Chicago. Here's the Dodge scouting report on Tigers right-hander Justin Verlander.
He most definitely deserved a better fate to his last start. First start off the All-Star break in New York. He gave up 2 runs but lost in that game. Tigers could not muster any offense for Verlander. He has been sensational, dazzling movement with the breaking ball, fading action with the changeup. And because of that, that same stuff, back in June, he had a really nice start against the Chicago White Sox, gave up 1 earned run, pitched a complete game against them. Let's take a look at the defense behind Verlander. It's always brought to you by your Chrysler and Jeep Superstores. You've got Thomas in right, Granderson in center, Rayburn in left, Inge, Everett, Polanco, Cabrera's the infield, Gerald Laird behind the plate, and the talented Justin Verlander on the mound.
Well, he's talented because the numbers say so. He's thrown a couple of complete games this year and an ERA of 3.34.
Whole different buzz in the ballpark this afternoon. And you can tell that this is a big game for both teams.
Well, it's the first of 2 here today. Doubleheader action. These 2 teams squaring off in 2 today, and they'll play Saturday and Sunday as well. The start of a huge series here against the White Sox. Dwayne Wise leads it off. First pitch of the ball game is a strike call. Wise, Alexi Ramirez, and Jermaine Dye in the first inning for Chicago.
That's why Verlander was so good against New York the last time he took the rubber. First pitch strike on just about every hitter that Joe Girardi was running up there against him.
Wise batting just $196, had the big catch yesterday to preserve the perfect game for Mark Burley.
Oh, what a catch.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Lifted in the air toward left. On the move is Ryan Rayburn. Has room. 1 gone.
Well, ask and you shall receive. He was put in the 9th inning as a defensive replacement in center field. Burley is throwing a perfect game, and Wise comes up with this catch.
Snow coned it, held on. The amount of area he had to cover is what made that catch impressive for me.
No other center fielder on their roster makes that catch.
1 out, Alexi Ramirez the batter. Verlander with the 1-0 pitch. In the air, right field. Straight at Clee Thomas, who comes in now. 2 gone. We saw Jared Washburn pick up fly ball after fly ball yesterday off the Tigers' bats, and 2 of them now against Verlander to start this game.
Washburn doesn't have the dominant stuff that Verlander does, but you sure couldn't tell by the numbers yesterday. But when you have a power pitcher like a guy like Verlander on the mound and you see lazy fly balls, that means the stuff's good.
Now Jermaine Dye batting a solid .293, having another typical Jermaine Dye season. 60 RBIs. Ball 1 from Verlander. Lifetime .318 against Verlander. He's hit 4 home runs against him. Justin, coming into the season, had not had very good success against the White Sox. In fact, 3-9 career coming into this start. But he beat them, as Rod told you earlier, with a complete game win back in June. Here's the 2-0 pitch. On the ground, left side, Inge. Stays with it. Dye is gone. And so are the White Sox. 1-2-3. Good start for Justin Verlander.
Cardinals pick up the biggest bat available on the trade market, grabbing Matt Holliday from the A's for a package of prospects headlined by Brett Wallace, their first-round pick last year. Add Holliday to Albert Pujols, not to mention Ryan Ludwig and Colby Rasmus, and the Cardinals suddenly have a very formidable offense to match up with anybody else in the National League. You've got to like them as the favorites in the NL Central now, and with Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright with the 1-2 punch on top of that rotation, the Cardinals have to feel like they've got a rotation that can match up with anyone else.
The Tigers coming to the plate now. Here's their starting lineup, brought to you by the Romani Eye Institute. Granderson, Polanco, and Clete Thomas at the top of the lineup tonight. Miguel Cabrera is cleaning up, followed by Carlos Guillen back in the lineup for Detroit. Ryan Rayburn is in left, Brandon in, Gerald Laird and Adam Everett to round out the lineup. Scouting report on Jose Contreras of the White Sox is brought to you by the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Yeah, key is always an issue and command, that is, with Contreras. He walked 4 his last time out, pitched just 4 in the third innings, which was his shortest outing since coming back from AAA. But he can be tough, and also the Tigers have also roughed him up lately.
Let's see if they can rough him up here again this afternoon. He gave up 5 runs in his last start and 4 in the third. Contreras facing Granderson in the first inning. Curtis takes the ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, and the Tigers leadoff man. He's hit safely in his last 4, including an RBI triple in the ball game yesterday. Gave the Tigers a chance, but they eventually lost that game. That was the only run they scored. 1-2 now on Granderson.
Contreras will give you a fastball anywhere from 89 to 93, 94 miles an hour. He's got a slider, and he's got that devastating swing and miss pitch. The forkball, there it is. And when that pitch is working for him, he's awfully tough.
2-2 on Granderson, who went 4 for 12 in the series against Seattle. A just completed series in which Seattle won 2 out of 3. 2-2 pitch. 3-2. This is a White Sox team that comes in having won 5 of their last 7. They went 5-2 on their just completed 7-game homestand, where they faced Baltimore and Tampa. And a wave and a miss. Granderson is out of there, 1 gone. So the first strikeout of the game comes quickly for Jose Contreras. That'll bring up Placido Polanco. Placido had 5 hits against Seattle in the just completed series. His average at .262. Tigers trying to find a way to jumpstart the offense. And it looked like they were doing just that when they returned home and scored 9 times in that win over Seattle in Game 1, but then they were shut down for a pair of 1-run outings the next 2 days. Polanco shoots one the other way. Base hit. Just between Getz and Canerco.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Contreras this afternoon. Presented by Honda Bloomfield. In the outfield, you've got Quentin, who has missed a lot of time this year. Is one of their big bats back in their batting order. And Beckham, the youngster, at third. Ramirez, very talented at short. Getz, Canerco on the right side of the infield. And A.J. Przinsky is the catcher this afternoon.
In the 3 slot today is the right fielder Clete Thomas.
It's the first time we have not seen Cabrera in that number 3 spot since St. Louis.
Clete getting the call here this afternoon. Of course, Marcus Thames getting the day off, at least to start, with Guillen back in the lineup. Carlos is DHing.
It looks like Jim wants to make his lineup somewhat tough, at least the first 5 hitters, and for Ozzie Guillen to match his bullpen up later on in this game.
Slap the other way down the left field line. It is fouled.
They're going lefty Granderson, righty Polanco, followed by the lefty Thomas, and then Cabrera and Guillen. And most managers like to go that lefty-righty lineup when they have an opportunity to do so.
When we talk about the Tigers struggling to score runs, they had a pair of 1-run losses in New York and 2 more against Seattle at home, and the last team to lose 4 of 5 by a 2-1 score, the 1945 St. Louis Browns.
It's a long time ago.
Hopefully none of that here this afternoon as Polanco is chased back by Contreras.
Well, you can run on this combination, and you don't have to be a real fast base runner to do so, with Contreras and Przinsky.
High fly ball, shallow right center. Dwayne Wise calling off the right fielder dive. 2 outs. It's going to bring up the cleanup man, Miguel Cabrera. His 17-game hitting streak ended yesterday with an 0 for 3. A couple of home runs this season against Chicago, 2 of his 19. And Cabrera has really had great success against Contreras. Came in hitting .500 against him, 8 for 16. With a home run. The 0-1 pitch. Contreras, 37 years old, a native of Cuba. He spent some time in the minor leagues this year. In fact, he began the season 0-5 in the big leagues and then was optioned out at AAA way back in early May. To get some things sorted out, and here he is back in the big leagues. He was recalled about a month later. 6'4", 225. High chopper back up the middle. On the backhand, Chris Getz. That's all for the Tigers. They get a hit, leave a man, 1 in the books, no score. On Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, standing the test of time since 1849. Your Motor City Dodge dealers. And by Arby's Bacon Cheddar Roast Burger Sandwich. Try it today. It'll have you saying, I'm thinking Arby's. Back here at Comerica Park, Tigers and the Chicago White Sox. Game 1 in what will be a 4-game weekend set. 1 of 2 here today at the ballpark. Jim Thome stands in against Justin Verlander.
And Verlander needs to be careful with Thome. And Thome has taken him deep quite often in their brief meetings. But Thome's taken a lot of guys deep in his career.
I was just about to say that. 557 career home runs, 7 of those against Justin Verlander. Here's the 1-1. They got the big shift on for Jim Thome. The second baseman Polanco is, I don't know, about 20 feet in the outfield grass and right. Verlander's 1-2. Got him. Didn't need to shift that time. Struck him out, his first of the game.
Back-to-back elevated fastballs at 96 miles an hour. And to Tomey, awfully tough to catch up to.
Verlander, 156 strikeouts this year now, which leads the American League, and by a pretty good margin. He'll face Paul Konerko. Sends one high in the air and deep into center field. Granderson backing up, still going back almost to the warning track. 2 outs. By the way, we invite you to vote for the player of the game today. You can text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number to 37338 or FSDET. You can see the final results postgame. During Tigers Live, vote for the Tigers player of the game. Verlander off to a nice start. He's retired 5 straight. Here's A.J. Pierzynski. 298 season for Pierzynski, 10 home runs. Strike 1 on the outer edge. A.J. at 325 over his last 43 games, still getting it done offensively. He pulls this one into right field. There's a base hit. Sox have their first hit of the game.
That's a spot where you really can't throw to left-handers. And the velocity's high, it's the mid-90s, but really all he does is drop the bat head down. And, of course, Verlander's supplying most of the power, but most left-handers love the ball in the area where Pierzynski just got that last fastball from Justin.
Here's Carlos Quentin, who is back in the lineup these days for Chicago. Plantar fasciitis kept Quentin on the disabled list for much of this season, although his numbers last year were eye-popping. He finished among the best in the league. In fact, finished second in home runs and probably would have won the home run title had he not been injured toward the end of last year.
Quentin's awfully strong. Well put together. Very strong hands. Tremendous power. And he's got himself in a real good fastball count here.
He's ahead now 3-0.
Well, you never know here. He may be one of those guys that has the green light, 3 balls and no strikes. Just don't groove it down the middle.
3-1. A pretty good trade that brought Quentin to Chicago. They got him from the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was a former #1 pick of the D-backs. They gave up infielder Chris Carter for him. And all Quentin went on to do was knock in 100 last year. Fouls it off. 3-2.
He's a Stanford guy. And their general manager, Kenny Williams, also 2 sports star at Stanford. Football and baseball for Kenny Williams.
Season numbers last year awfully good.
He missed the final month of the season due to a hand injury.
And there is ball 4. Verlander issues his first walk. So a pair of base runners now with 2 outs.
There's Kenny. About a month ago we were in Chicago and Kenny was talking about if his team didn't turn it up a notch, then they were thinking about trading away some of their pieces. But obviously they have righted the ship. And they're playing some good baseball.
Here's Chris Getz. Getz at 262.
Have you ever talked to Kenny Williams much?
I have not met him at all.
You've never?
I've never met Kenny Williams, no. But he has garnered a reputation as being someone that will be very aggressive if his team has a chance. Go out and get a piece or 2. Although he has said things to the contrary this year. I just don't know if that's going to be true. 1 ball, 1 strike on Chris Getz. Breaking ball, hammered foul right off his foot. 1-2.
Getz, good baseball player. Does a lot of things right. Get a bunt down, move runners along, steady defensively. He's been nice. at second base for them. Ozzie Guillen likes these types of baseball players.
Getz went to Wake Forest and, of course, the University of Michigan. Michigan in 04 and 05, and he takes high. 2-2.
Verlander has missed with several of his fastballs to the last couple of hitters up in the strike zone. The indication of either rushing with the front part of your body, not allowing your arm to catch up, or you're simply overthrowing.
Well, he retired the first two batters quite quickly, and then Pierzynski took him to right field for a base hit.
And you can understand if Verlander's a little bit more amped up this afternoon, knowing that he is pitching, trying to keep his team in first place.
Well, the Tigers have lost 2 straight. The definition, of course, of an ace is to be able to send a guy out there and stop a losing streak. Just missed with that one. Verlander bending down in the mound, thought he had strike 3. Now it's 3-2, which really changes the complexion of things. Looked pretty good, maybe a touch low. And the runners will be on the move here with 2 outs. And he lost him. So Verlander now has walked Quentin and Getz, and that's going to load the bases.
And Jim has said on many occasions this year he likes when Verlander's working around 92 to 93 miles an hour with his fastball to begin the game. He feels like that's when he's at his best. But we've already seen Verlander touch 98 in the first couple of innings here against the White Sox. So he needs to tone it down a little bit.
Well, your point about facing Chicago here today probably has amped him up a little bit for several reasons. A, of course, he hasn't had a whole lot of success against Chicago in his career, but B, what's at stake? First place right now. And he came out and looked good in the first inning, but will have to pitch out of a bases loaded jam here in the second. He's facing the number 9 hitter, the rookie Gordon Beckham.
Beckham's been pretty good for this club with runners in scoring position, driving in runs.
Beckham had just been called up when the Tigers last faced the White Sox in Chicago, and the rookie started his career 0 for 13 and then finally got his first hit against the Tigers. Dontrell Willis
also started his major league career as a third baseman, whereas he had pretty much been a shortstop his entire life. It's tough to do. And the offense of the White Sox was struggling when he got called up, so there was quite a bit of pressure on the young man to perform early.
1 ball, 1 strike on Beckham. And a ground ball to short should get him out of the inning. Everett to second for the fourth, side retired. No damage done. Couple of walks, they leave him loaded.
with what was at stake, a perfect game.
Followed by a strikeout and then the ground ball. That into the game, and a perfect game for Mark Buehrle. His second no-hitter. Carlos Guillen leads it off for the Tigers. His first at bat since coming off the disabled list. Good to see him back in the lineup. And we'll see how much he can give the Tigers here starting today. He last played on May 4th against Minnesota. It's been a while. Of course, he had some rehab appearances, 5 in Lakeland down in the Florida State League, and then 2 in Toledo. And the Tigers deemed him healthy to go, and he's ready, and here he is. He can be a difference maker offensively. The Tigers have him batting 5th today, the designated hitter. And the move to get Guillen back on the roster. Josh Anderson was designated for assignment.
I'm sure we'll see Josh Anderson before the year's over.
Guillen now ahead 3-1. Here are the numbers at Toledo for a couple of games. 4 for 7 with an RBI for Carlos.
Jim said the reports that he got on Carlos is that he was swinging the bat awfully well from the left side. He is sitting on the left side right now. He was having some discomfort in the throwing shoulder when batting right-handed, however. So Jim doesn't know exactly what he will do if they get in a situation where he has to hit right-handed. We do know Ozzie Guillen in the past has always tried to turn Carlos around late in games when he's had a chance to do so.
Bouncing ball to short. Ramirez. Guillen is out, 1 gone.
Buehrle said, I was listening to him do an interview before the game. He said he had about 65 text messages that he had to get back to, and 12 phone calls he had to return, I should say. Of course, he got a call from President Obama as well.
Well, 2 career no-hitters. Both of them took exactly 2 hours and 3 minutes to play, and Eric Cooper was the home plate umpire for both of them.
How about that?
He might want to employ Mr. Cooper as his home plate ump.
Why not? Couldn't happen to a better guy. Mark Buehrle is one guy that his teammates absolutely love. And you have to love the way that he pitches. He doesn't get a whole lot of notoriety, Mario, because all the big boys, the power pitchers always, we talk about them, but no one's been more consistent in the last 8-9 years than Mark Buehrle.
Isn't that the truth? It's the guys that throw 95, 98, 100 miles an hour. They seem to get all of the publicity, but Buehrle gets it done in a different way.
And who would think that he'd be a guy that would go out and overpower offenses to throw no-hitters? He threw one against a good offense in Texas, and of course Tampa had their good offense out there yesterday, and he threw a perfect game.
1-2 on Ryan Rayburn.
Just so many things went into that perfect game. How about Ramon Castro, the catcher, catching him for the very first time ever?
That's unbelievable.
And Buehrle not shaking off one single pitch.
Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
In many ways, Castro deserves as much for that no-hitter as Buehrle does.
When you go back to the Verlander no-hitter a couple of years ago, it was a play by, of all people, Nafi Perez, which saved the no-hitter for Justin.
A great play.
That missed way inside, 3-2. Contreras give up a single in the first. The only Tigers hit so far, with Brandon Inge waiting on deck. Swing and a miss. Down goes Rayburn. That was his second strikeout. Contreras has gone full count 3 times already in this game.
One thing Contreras will do, he will give you 3 pitches from this angle right here. He'll throw the fastball from that sidearm angle along with that slider and also the forkball. And he also throws the forkball from up top. So now he's giving you 2 different angles with that devastating pitch, which has made him pretty good since coming back up from the minor leagues. He had 1 hiccup, 1 bad game, which was his last game. But other than that, he's given the White Sox a chance to win every time he's gone out there.
Inge batting .260, couple of hits in the series against Seattle.
There's that forkball from up top. Totally different angle, totally different bite on that pitch.
And he's ahead 0-2. And a wave and a miss. Quick inning for Contreras. 3 strikeouts for the game. Tigers go 1-2-3.
Today. Well, they knew that they had Verlander going as good as he has been. Plus, you've got the White Sox coming in, and it's a big series. It's for first place. And the White Sox have pretty much walked around Comerica Park like they've owned the place the last 3 or 4 years. And it's a huge game. There's no debate about that.
Well, Dwayne Wise leads it off as we go to the top of the 3rd. Verlander throws it right by him for strike 1. Wise, Ramirez, and Dye, the top 3 hitters in Ozzie Guillen's lineup.
I know you've seen a lot of big catches. Have you seen a bigger catch than the Wise catch due to the circumstances?
Due to the circumstances, probably not. And I thought the Granderson catch with Verlander on the mound in Cleveland probably was the best. But when you're saving a perfect game in the 9th, you know, unless you're talking about a playoff situation, there's nothing bigger. He didn't go there. 1-2.
I felt the same way. Earlier this year when Verlander made that catch, Granderson made that catch behind Verlander to preserve a win and a shutout. One of the biggest I had seen.
There's a base hit for Wise. He'll take the turn and think about it. He's going to go for 2, and the throw bounces into second base. An off-balance throw by Granderson, and Wise was thinking double immediately and got there.
That's how doubles are made. Wise knew that Granderson was shading him over in left center field. When you've got a guy throwing as hard as Verlander, the only pitch he's going to pull is a breaking ball or a changeup, which he got. And he knew where Granderson was. He got on his horse immediately, and there was nothing that Granderson could do to throw out the speedy Wise. It's a good base running play by Wise.
6 doubles this year for Dwayne Wise. That'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Ramirez. Alexi hacking away, fouls it off.
One thing that Ramirez has been doing a lot more of lately, and that's hitting the ball the opposite way. And that's how he's gotten his batting average up to 282. When we were in Chicago about 6 weeks ago, he wasn't even playing. He was on the bench.
He was.
That's how bad he was going.
It's true. Well, Ramirez has raised his average each month.
Well, he was a real good player last year. He finished in the top 2 or 3 in Rookie of the Year voting. Hit home runs. Played second base then. He's their shortstop now. A lot of talent.
Popped up to the shortstop. There's a big out, one gone.
Well, fans, Saturday afternoons were made for baseball, and this week the Tigers are featured when they host the White Sox in Game 3 of this series. Coverage on Fox Saturday Baseball begins tomorrow at 4 p.m. on your local Fox station. Big games, bring out the big boys.
Speaking of big boys, Jermaine Dye is a big boy. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out. And Verlander throws strike one. Dye comes into this game batting .303 against right-handed pitching, and that last one was 99 miles an hour.
Now he's legit. And Jermaine Dye is a free agent after this year. And I don't know who's going to get him, but whoever does, he's going to be a real nice force in the outfield for whichever team lands him.
Well, he's 35 years old. How many years do you think he has of the type of production he's been putting up?
He's got at least a couple.
I would say so.
At least a couple.
No signs this year of slowing down at all.
I don't think Dye will be looking for one of those Mark Teixeira type contracts, of course, where you get 7, 8 years. But there's been few that has been as consistent in the power category, the batting average, on base categories as Dye has in a White Sox uniform.
Good breaking ball, and he had Dye frozen 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's what the Verlander breaking ball would do. You see it coming at you, and it's got tremendous depth to it. And something else that he's been doing with that breaking pitch this year, throwing it at different speeds, changing speeds on the breaking ball.
White Sox left the bases loaded back in the second, singled 2 walks. It all came with 2 outs. But a leadoff double here in the third for Chicago.
Well, this is where you want to stay with what your best pitch is. And I think Verlander's best pitch is a well-located fastball. He just overthrew it. He's got a good breaking ball, but Dye's a pretty good hitter, and a lot of times doesn't swing at breaking balls that are not strikes. And if you try to get him out with 2 strikes with a breaking ball in the strike zone, that's when he can hurt you.
He missed it again. Way high. 3 and 2.
And Justin kind of needs to get back to where he was 5 days ago in that Yankee game, where we did not see him overthrow. We just saw him in the strike zone all afternoon with all of his pitches.
Wise at second base. 1 out. Top of the 3rd inning, game 1 in the doubleheader today. And he missed it. Ball 4. It's 3 walks already for Verlander. 2 on, 1 out for Jim Thome. The White Sox came into this game since 2005. They had a record of 53 and 29 against Detroit. But the Tigers went into Chicago, took 3 out of 5 in their last trip. And do you think that gave them any type of confidence that maybe they kind of realize now that they can and should be able to play with this team?
I think it gave him some confidence for sure. I think Verlander pitched one of the first 2 games of that series as well, so he kind of got the party started, but he is overthrowing here today. Clearly. But I guess the White Sox have the kind of club that will kind of force you into being a little bit more amped up than you normally are. You would think that Yankees team would have done the same.
That's how the Yankees make their money. The 1-0 is high again, and Verlander now is going to get a visit from Rick Knapp. Knapp immediately comes trotting out of the dugout as soon as that last pitch was thrown. He put his scouting reports down and bolted to the mound. 2 balls, no strikes, trying to slow this thing down before it gets out of control here.
Well, you have to try to keep Jim Thome out of predictable fastball counts. It's not a given that he will get a fastball here from Verlander, but when he knows that fastball is coming 2-0, 2-1, even though the bat slowed down a hair because he's gotten older, he can still cheat a little bit with that front hip, that front foot, and he can still generate lots of power. He may want to throw a breaking ball or a changeup to get a feel for that pitch, because it helps when you're overthrowing and you don't have the good control with the fastball.
Thome, with a couple of runners on, has hit into 7 double plays this year. And he fouled that one straight back. He's got a 2-0 fastball and didn't get enough of it.
A couple of reasons why he does not hit into a whole lot of double plays. 1, he's a fly ball hitter, and 2, you play these defenses against him where you got guys all over the place, and even though he doesn't have speed, it's tough to turn against a guy like him.
Big swing and a miss, 2-2. 99 miles an hour, so you can see Verlander reaching back to try and take care of Tomey here and pitch himself out of this jam. He's going to have to deal with Konerko next unless he gets the double play. He struck Tomey out back in the second, swinging. And he does it again here in the third. 2 gone.
We're going to make that our Bell Tire pitch-by-pitch classic confrontation here. Runners on first and second. A guy that's hit 7 home runs against Verlander. He falls behind Tomey, 2 balls, no strikes, and comes back to throw 3 straight fastballs by Verlander by Tomey. Verlander did that the first time he was up as well.
And that's his second strikeout of the game to go with his 3 walks. One more hurdle, though, and that'll be Paul Konerko.
He may be the best fastball hitter on their team.
Right back up the middle on the backhand. Polanco flips for the force, and Verlander does it for the second straight inning, pitching out of a jam.
Detroit Lions ticket office at 313-262-2009. Mario and Rod, back to you guys.
All right, Keats, thank you very much. As we go to the bottom of the third now, Tigers and White Sox, no score. Game 1 in this doubleheader. Tigers have 1 hit. The White Sox have a pair. Verlander's had to pitch through some stress the last couple of innings. Gerald Laird leads it off, then Adam Everett and Curtis Granderson. Laird batting .236, looks at a ball outside, 1-0 from Jose Contreras, who gave up a single to Polanco in the first and then got the Tigers 1-2-3 with a couple of strikeouts in the second. Laird just 1 for 15 against Sox pitching, showing bunt as he occasionally will to draw Beckham in at third base. 2-0. For some reason this year, and it's hard to figure out, Jose Contreras has had trouble against the 8-hole hitters in opposing lineups. Guys batting 8th are hitting .414 against him. I don't know if he's letting up a little bit toward the bottom end of the lineup or if it's just purely coincidence. But that has been the case this year. The 2-1 offering. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Laird, then Everett, and then Granderson in the Tigers' third. Detroit came in with a percentage point lead in the standings in the Central. Chicago, courtesy of their win yesterday, their 50th victory of the year, most wins in the Central Division. The Yankees lead the American League in victories with 58. And here's how it looks in the Central. Minnesota still lurking.
When the White Sox finish the 4 games here at Comerica Park, they have to go to Minnesota for a 3-game series. So the next 7 games for the White Sox against tough opponents in their division.
And hopefully Minnesota, who has been so good at home, can continue that, although they're in the thick of the race as well. And that's strike 3 call. Wow. Laird doesn't like it. Can't believe it. And it's another strikeout, the 4th of the game now for Contreras.
Well, Laird is probably saying to Rob Drake, we've got to get that same call. Verlander thought he had strike 3 on Getz. And Getz first time up didn't get that call from Rob Drake, and Laird is probably saying we need that call as well.
So Contreras threads the needle on the outside corner. He struck out 3 Tigers in a row now. Here's Everett. He takes a strike 0-1. Adam 0 for 6 in the series against Seattle.
They say that is one thing that Contreras has been a whole lot better at doing lately.
Line to left field, sinking, base hit right in front of Carlos Quentin.
And that's been more aggressive, coming right after hitters. A couple of fastballs there to Everett. Everett caught the second one.
Tigers have their second hit. That'll bring up the top of the order, Curtis Granderson. Curtis struck out in the first inning. Granderson this year has walked 45 times, which leads the Tiger club. Strike 1 again in the outer edge.
It looked like they're playing a little bit of a shift in the infield against Granderson.
Yeah, the shortstop Ramirez almost to the bag at second base.
Apparently Granderson has gotten himself in some type of a pattern where opposing teams are going to shade him that way, or at least the White Sox, because he hits a lot of balls where they have the defender's place right now. Now here's Granderson's straight chart, and this is exactly why they're playing him defensively the way that they are playing him. He's hit 52 balls in that direction.
One and two.
At the beginning of this homestand, the first 3 hits that Granderson had in the first couple of days against Seattle were the other way. And that's kind of when Curtis is going at his best, although he can pull the ball, hit it out of the seats. And when he starts to take base hits to left field and left center field, he's a much better player.
"19 home runs this year for Granderson to go with 16 stolen bases.
Everett may as well take off.
He is on 2-2. It's line to right field, base hit. Everett on his way to third. They'll stop him there, and Granderson has a base hit. Tigers have something going now with 1 out.
The reason why I said that Everett should take off, because 2 and 2, you are going to get the fork ball from Contreras. You see the grip, you see the ball coming out of his hand. This one stays up, which allows Granderson to pull the baseball for now his 53rd base hit to right field. And also, if you're running on that pitch, you're anticipating the fork ball being down in the dirt, which would be tough for Przinsky to throw out Everett, who was on first base, now standing on third base.
Not to mention, Przinsky is at about 9% in throwing runners out, so we'll see.
Is he that low?
He's that low.
9%?
We'll see what Granderson is thinking here with Polanco up and only 1 out. It's lifted in the air to right field. Dye measures it. Everett tags. Here comes the throw to the plate, and it is not in time. Sacrifice fly and an RBI for Placido Polanco.
Runs have been so tough for the Tigers to come by, and Gene Lamont kind of forced the issue there. Guy has a very good throwing arm in the outfield, but for one of the few times he wasn't accurate with his throw. If he's accurate here, Everett's out at home plate. This throw is offline to the first base side, which means Przinsky vacates home plate, and the Tigers get on the board first.
Pushing the envelope, but it worked out that time. And an RBI for Polanco is 44. Tigers get on the board first here.
You know, you're talking about Przinsky and the fact that he is below 10% in throwing out base runners. Since Contreras has been on the mound, there has been no base runners caught. 10 have been successful.
And there goes Curtis. Good throw, or good ball to throw, but Przinsky sails it high, and the percentage dips out a little bit farther.
Make that 11 consecutive stolen bases while Contreras has been out there. It's a real good jump by Granderson. Good ball to throw by Przinsky, almost like a pitch out. But he did not close up that left shoulder, which didn't allow him to get on top of the baseball. Therefore, bad throw by A.J.
Steal number 17 for Granderson. Let's see if Thomas can get him home. There's one area that hopefully the Tigers will be able to exploit. The poor throwing percentage of Przinsky and likewise Contreras. Thomas 0 for 1. Fleet sends it high in the air to left. Clinton going back. Still going back. Right in front of the wall to retire the side. Tigers get a run. Leave a man. It's 1-0 Detroit. Tigers have the lead. 1-0 as we go to the fourth inning. Nice gathering here today for the opener of the doubleheader, game 1 of 2. And the Tigers have a 1-0 advantage. Justin Verlander back to the hill, hoping for a more routine fourth inning. The White Sox have stranded 5 base runners in the last 2 innings. A.J. Pierzynski leads it off.
One thing about dominant pitchers like Verlander, if you don't get them early, usually you do not get them.
Nice play by Cabrera. And his throw is wide. He couldn't get it out of the glove, and Pierzynski is safe.
Even when he did finally get the ball in his throwing hand, he still rushed. And Przinski's not the fleetest of foot, which meant even when he bobbled it, when he got up, he still had time to make a good throw to Verlander to get the out. Sometimes you see bad throws after guys make diving plays. That's why you've got to finish it. Now, he still has time after this, but he just rushed.
Charged Cabrera with an error.
Tough to get an error when you make a play like that.
Here's Carlos Quentin. Cabrera, for a guy as big as he is, really has kind of patented that diving play off to his right, the backhanded play. At that time, he just couldn't get the job done. Quentin swings and misses.
And just to finish that thought on Verlander, when you're the White Sox and you get base runners early and you do not score, you allow him to settle in. And usually when Verlander settles in, at least this year, he's gotten dominant late.
Verlander this year has had 4 games of 10 or more strikeouts, actually 11 or more strikeouts.
Is Verlander throwing a slider these days?
Well, that sure looked like it.
That was a slider at 87 miles an hour. Now that's the curveball at 82. But he hadn't thrown many pitches in that 87, 88 mile per hour range. It's either mid-90s or at the low 80s. He's got 4 pitches now. That's good news for the offensive players.
2-2. Worrying about 3 above average big league pitches is bad enough. Quentin had a walk back in the second. Now it's 3-2.
Quentin's one of those guys with his back foot. He doesn't pivot. Usually you teach kids to turn on that backside, lift the heel and pivot with it, which helps you rotate the hips. He tries to keep his back foot on the ground when delivering the blow, which kind of keeps him closed up. You can see it right there. Greg Walker, their hitting coach, said that's one thing that they did with Quentin when they got him. And it's worked well for him. Jim Thome is also a guy that kind of keeps that back foot on the ground when swinging the bat. Guys that are so strong with their upper bodies, there's no need for them to do anything differently. Take a look at that foot. He tries to keep it down as much as he possibly can. It's going to come up a little bit, but by trying to keep it there, keeps you closed.
Drilled down the left field line with the runner on the move. This is trouble. It'll go to the wall. Przinski coming to third. They're going to stop him there. Quentin gets to second base with a double, and the White Sox in business again.
It's a wise decision there by Jeff Cox not to force the issue. Przinski would have been thrown out of home plate. He gets a breaking ball here, does Quentin. It's a hanging breaking ball. And there's the foot that kind of stays on the ground. There's no pivot, no turn with it. The heel gets back down, and that's why he is so dangerous. What a bat they got back in their batting order.
7 doubles this year for Carlos Quentin, and that's going to bring up Chris Getz as Verlander again pitches into some trouble. They left the bases loaded in the second. They left 2 men on here in the third. And now Verlander will throw from the windup against Getz.
And they're also conceding the run. Anything down toward end, and Przinski would not be able to score. And if it's hit hard, Przinski got to be on his horse because Tigers got some heads-up defenders up the middle, and they may try to get him at home plate.
Getz had a base on balls back in the second. He came into this game 11 for his previous 27 at-bats, and his hit total is more than any other American League rookie, 67 hits. That is popped up left side of the infield. Boy, that's a start for Verlander. 1 gone. The runners have to hold.
We may see Jim pull the infield in now against Beckham.
So the number 9 hitter comes strolling in.
Oh, looks like he's going to keep him back.
Beckham hit a ground ball his first time up. 0-1.
And one of the reasons why Jim is possibly leaving the infield back is the fact that Verlander can strike you out. And he's been dominant against right-handed hitters this year. And he leads the American League in strikeouts as we speak.
Breaking ball stays high. And Justin has not had the best command with that breaking ball so far today. He has recorded a couple of strikeouts. He has walked 3 in the game. The 1-1. Verlander trying to pitch through a jam in 3 consecutive innings now.
Pitch count starting to pile up a little bit too.
Yeah, that's the downside, and he is over 60 here in the 4th inning. Breaking ball is hit in the air. Right center field. Thomas measures it. Here comes Grzinski to the plate. Here comes the throw from Cleat, and it's a little bit tardy. Both runners move up. So Beckham ties it up with a sac fly of his own. It's a 1-1 game. And the error comes around to score. Two outs, runner at third base.
I guess Cleat felt like his arm a little bit stronger than Granderson's in center field. Therefore, he called off Granderson, and Granderson allowed him to make the throw home. And I would agree with that decision.
Looked like Thomas had a better angle on it as well to get a stronger throw off. Granderson was kind of drifting toward the gap with his momentum going backwards. But it was still going to take a very strong throw, even with the slow runner Grzinski, to get him. The 0-1 is inside and high. Dwayne Wise had a double, did not score back in the 3rd. Pretty close, 2-1. The body language from Verlander after that last pitch again showed that he thought it was a strike. Sac fly by Polanco gave the Tigers the lead. Sac fly by Gordon Beckham has tied it up. Hammered foul back out of play. Wise has had big league time with Toronto, Atlanta, and Cincinnati prior to coming to Chicago. Can play all 3 outfield positions. Has played mostly center field. The late time given to Wise as he steps out.
And Wise really hadn't gotten a lot of playing time lately because Podsednik has been getting all the playing time. Scott Podsednik, who they signed very late. And he started a couple of weeks in the minor league for the White Sox. When they called him up, they found a legitimate leadoff man.
Verlander now has gone to 5 3-ball counts, 3-2 counts, and that in itself is running the pitch count up. 3-2 the count stays on. Dwayne Wise. Right back to the mound. And that is that for the White Sox. They get a run to tie it up. They strand another man. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. Game as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Game one in the doubleheader today from the ballpark. Tigers in Chicago battling it out for first place in the Central. They came in virtually tied, just a percentage point separating the two. And Miguel Cabrera leads it off in the bottom of the fourth inning against Jose Contreras. It'll be Cabrera, Guillen, and then Ryan Rayburn. Each team with 3 hits. It was Cabrera's error that opened the door a little bit for Chicago and getting that run in the fourth inning, tied up. 1 ball, 1 strike. 4th in the American League in hitting, Miguel Cabrera. Now 1-2.
Since the beginning of the 2008 season, I guess really since Cabrera has put on a Tigers uniform, no player in the American League has hit more home runs than Cabrera. 56 of them. They could use a few more in the month of July. Their offense has been struggling.
It really has, and Cabrera really hasn't knocked in too many runs here in the month of July. He had that 17-game hitting streak that was snapped yesterday. There's a base hit to left center. Maybe more. He's going to split the gap and go to the warning track. Cabrera goes to second, and there's a leadoff double. Take that, he says. A 2-base hit to lead off the fourth inning.
A pretty quiet approach here. Looked like a forkball off the plate outside, which allowed Cabrera to extend those powerful arms and lace the ball in the left center field. It looked like he was thinking too as soon as he left that batter's box because of where Quentin in left and Wise in center was playing.
Now Carlos Guillen, who grounded out his first time up. Tigers have played so long without Carlos Guillen. It's odd to see him back in the lineup. He hadn't played since May the 4th against Minnesota, missing 68 games.
I know Jim was beaming from ear to ear around the batting cage today. He is happy at the fact that they got him back and said they desperately need him.
Lifted to center field, and the move is Wise. Cabrera tagging up, catch is made. Miguel going to try and get to third base, and he will.
Good base running. Really good base running. And he could see that Wise in center field was backing up on the play. Therefore, there was not going to be an opportunity to throw him out at third. And now he stands there with another golden opportunity for the Tigers to score another run.
See how the White Sox play the infield in here with Rayburn. They're not all the way in. Shortstop Ramirez about halfway depth.
The speed of Cabrera has something to do with the way that they are positioned defensively right now. They're going to make him make the decision as to whether he's coming home or not. That's why managers play this type of depth. And my guess is, even though runs have been hard to come by, they have to make the ball be through the infield for Cabrera to take off.
2-0. And here's another chance for the ball club since the All-Star break, just 4 for 44 with runners in scoring position. The go-ahead run standing at third with only 1 out. Popped him up. Shallow right field. Dye coming on. Still coming, and it's going to drop. Base hit. Rayburn on his way to second. Pulls in with a bloop double, and the Tigers take the lead.
If they were not playing the infield where they were playing the infield, Getz, the second baseman, is able to catch this ball. But because they were playing almost in at the cut of the grass, a bloop double by Rayburn into the outfield. Infield in, long way to go for Getz. Konerko can't get there. Dye's playing deep. And there's no play.
Rayburn gets his 26th RBI, his 8th double of the year. Comes in a clutch opportunity to give the Tigers the lead. Now they'll try and add some more. Brandon Inge struck out back in the second. Strike one on the outer edge.
And give Cabrera some credit for that run right there. A hustling double. And then also getting the third base on the ball, not hit real deep to center field, but reading the play correctly to give the Tigers a chance to score a run.
The 0-1. The little things, I guess, that as we say and has become so cliche that doesn't show up in the box score, but little things that allow you to win ball games. Inge now trying to cash in another. Brandon has 58 RBIs. Tigers had 5 hits on the board to take a 2-1 lead. Each team has scored here in the fourth. There goes the runner to third. Here comes the throw from Pierzynski. Safe. They have stolen twice on him in this game. This one a steal of third base. Leland is not standing around today.
It looks like the difference in Rayburn being safe and out is where Beckham catches the ball and has to reach down. It's a nice job by Rayburn, getting a halfway decent jump off third, off second to steal the base.
Now with the infield in, Inge ahead in the count. Late time given to Brandon. Contreras was about ready to bring it home.
I don't know if Jim said something to his team or not before the game, but Lloyd McClendon told me today that he felt like his team would come out and play with more energy. And I don't know if it was something that was said or it was just a thought that he had, but they have played a little bit more aggressively here against the White Sox in the first 4 innings.
That's a good thing to see, I think. Pulled foul. I don't know that the ball club was lethargic against Seattle. I mean, they just couldn't get the big hit. They couldn't get anything going offensively. And when they did have chances, they just weren't taking advantage.
Well, that kind of makes you look lethargic, though.
Not today, though. You're right. I think a little bit of extra pep in their step. Oh, he hit it. Breaking ball that didn't break. Caught him right between the 1 and the 5. First and third.
I don't think he was trying to hit Brandon Inge by any stretch of the imagination, but by the way that it shapes up, runners on first and third and 1 out, they've got a better chance of getting out of this inning without giving up more runs should Laird hit something on the ground. Jim this year has used Laird in a couple of situations where he has utilized the squeeze bunt. I'm sure Ozzie Guillen knows that, which means we may see a fastball or two up in the strike zone.
Laird, a strikeout victim, back in the third. Contreras gave up the leadoff double to Cabrera. The 1-out double to Rayburn of the bloop variety. Ryan then stole third base. Inge has been hit by a pitch. One and one.
If Inge's knees weren't so bad, he may get an opportunity to steal, but I don't know if Jim would use him in that fashion here.
Great point. I don't think they will.
What he could do, though, is hit and run, which would not be a bad play here. 2 balls, 1 strike. The downside is if he lines out, obviously it's a double play. But if he hits the ball on the ground and he gets the infielders moving, they stay out of the double play and they score another run.
Two 1 pitch. Rolled foul, now 2-2. Contreras was hurt last year in August. Had some elbow tendonitis, made only 20 starts. We mentioned that he started this year 0-5 and was sent to the minor leagues.
Didn't he tear his Achilles tendon last year as well?
He did. Ruptured, torn, whatever. Roll to the shortstop, should be 2. There's 1. Here comes the relay from Getz, and there's 2.
That's why hitting in was not a bad play at all for them.
6-4-3. Tigers get 1 to break the tie. Justin Verlander has thrown a lot of pitches, but by and large he's been able to get out of a couple of big jams, and the Tigers' offense has shown up enough at least to get them a lead in this game.
It looked like Verlander came out a little amped up today, and you can understand why. Going up against the White Sox, first place on the line, a team that he's had some difficulty with in the past, although he pitched very well against them last time out. But he needs to settle down a little bit because the pitch count's up.
The Tigers have been a little bit of aggressive as well, stealing some bases. Sack fly to drive in a run. Alexi Ramirez is leading it off here in the 5th inning. And he skies this one, hit well to right field. On the move is Cleet Thomas. He's going to get there. Cleet can cover some ground, and he got there easily.
Yeah, that's what they told us Alexi had been doing a whole lot more of, and that's hitting the ball the opposite way. Verlander not happy with where that pitch ended up with, and Cleet had to bail him out with a nice running grab.
Verlander needs a 1-2-3 inning. His last 3 have been lengthy.
And he needs less than 10 pitches to do so.
A good start by getting Ramirez quickly. Here's Dye. 2-1 Tigers lead. We're in the 5th inning. Top 2 teams in the Central butting heads here this weekend. Breaking ball missing inside. 1-0 on Dye. A walk and a ground out. By the way, Rod, it's official now. Matt Holliday has been traded.
Where did he go?
He went to St. Louis.
Wow. How about St. Louis? They got Mark DeRosa earlier. Before the deadline. DeRosa's on the DL, though. And now they go out and get Holliday.
Lined right at Rayburn with a basket catch. 2 gone. Well, they're right on top of it in the truck, man. They've got the particulars of that trade. Here you go. Matt Holliday, now a St. Louis Cardinal. Brett Wallace, an infielder. Part of that deal. He was their top draft choice from 08.
That means St. Louis feels like they've got a legitimate chance of winning that Central this year because the Cubs are not playing nearly as well as many thought they were going to play coming into the season. And they're in first place right now.
Yep. And they just picked up, albeit a bat that has not been as good as it has been in the past. Matt Holliday, still a very good big league hitter.
I think him going from Oakland to going to St. Louis, one of the best baseball towns in America, is going to re-energize Holiday, and he's going to have a big second half. He's a tremendous talent, that's for sure.
Going back to the National League should probably help him, and Mr. Pujols is probably glad to get another big bat in the middle of their lineup.
Well, otherwise, Pujols may as well not even take his bat to the plate because teams will walk him for sure.
Jim Thome, the batter, with 2 outs, and the count goes to 3-1.
He's been able to throw fastballs right by Jim all afternoon long, and he's put himself in a situation where he has to throw another one.
Missed it this time, ball 4.
You don't necessarily mind that much, other than the fact the pitch count is getting up there, but you don't mind putting Thome on first base.
That's his 4th walk of the game. Verlander, that is. And now Konerko, who has hit a ball on the ground and is flied out.
I guess Billy Beane must have gotten exactly what he wanted to trade Matt Holliday.
Yeah, he was saying that he wasn't necessarily, or didn't feel that he necessarily had to trade him before the deadline. He could have waited and gotten a couple of picks in the offseason.
Yeah, Holliday would have been one of those type A free agents, which meant that they would have got 2 picks, as you mentioned. And I guess by getting Carlos Guillen back and them getting a chance to see him for a few days may determine whether the Tigers do anything or not.
We're going to get another force now on Konerko to retire the side. No damage done. Tigers baseball today brought to you by Bell Tire.
A softball and puts it in between the index and the ring finger to kind of stretch out those 2 fingers, and I guess that really helps him throw this pitch. And now you see the grip and that tumbling action that he throws, and it's been a real good pitch for him. Really his signature pitch while he was in Cuba and since coming stateside.
I know we've said this before, but that Exmo is really cool. Well, you got a great look at that grip from Contreras. Adam Everett leading it off as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Everett singled to lead off the 3rd and scored a run.
And if you weren't with us earlier, I also told you that Contreras is now throwing that forkball from 2 different angles, from a sidearm angle and now throwing it from a high 3/4 angle as well. He just got all kind of different arm angles with all kinds of different pitches, which kind of makes him tough.
So as a hitter, how do you prepare for a guy like this?
Well, you sit in one zone, whether it be inside or outside, and you just kind of sit there all day long, and you sit on hard stuff. You sit on the fastball, you sit on the slider, because you're not going to hit that forkball anyway. And so there's no use in sitting on something you can't hit. So you sit hard stuff and you sit in one area, and then when you get that pitch in that area, you just don't miss it. Here's a slider. But it's down from a 3/4 arm slot, and it looks like it's inside to Everett. He takes his swing, and the ball's no longer there.
5 strikeouts for Contreras. Top of the order now, Curtis Granderson. 1 for 2 with a base hit and a steal. Tigers have 5 hits today. They took the lead on the RBI double by Rayburn in the 4th. The 1-0.
I went to that Curtis Granderson event last night at the Big Rock restaurant, and it was a lot of fun.
They raised some money?
They raised, I believe, $40,000 for Granderson's foundation.
Outstanding. So who was the highest bid for the players?
Granderson. Granderson got $6,500 from a couple of people that were bidding. And so Granderson being gracious enough to give them both lunch dates. So Granderson raised a grand total of $13,000.
Nice. The 1-2. Got him. Strike 3. Randy is out of there, and a couple of strikeouts in this inning for Contreras.
Edwin Jackson, also a bachelor and a single man, was also auctioned off along with Ryan Perry to some lucky people. Looked like AJ pulled that one back up in the strike zone. You can see him lift the glove up after he got it in his glove. And Rob Drake bought it.
So here's Polanco. Strike 1 on Placido. Sac fly drove in a run back in the 3rd. He's also singled. First of 2 between these two teams. The nightcap coming up after this one. That'll head toward foul territory. Will it hang long enough? Nope. Back out of play. No balls, 2 strikes on Polanco. Game 2 is going to feature Bartolo Colon and Eddie Bonine up from the minor leagues. Good to see Eddie back. The 0-2 pitch. Which means the Tigers are going to have to make a move between games 1 and 2 to get Bonine ready to go. At Toledo, Eddie was 2 and 4. Bartolo Colon, boy, he's been around a long time.
No, it's been a very difficult year for Eddie Bonine. His mom passed away about a month ago. So, he's had a very heavy heart this season.
Right back up the middle. Here's another hit for Polanco. Yeah, and Eddie is such a good kid, too.
He was pitching like he had a heavy heart as well. And he knew that his mom was going to pass away because they couldn't cure the cancer. And he got off to a slow start. But after she kind of passed away, it seemed like, he just kind of regrouped and started to get back to business.
And back to the big leagues. 2-out hit. Here's Clete Thomas. Tigers now have 6 hits. Clete batting in the 3 slot today is 0 for 2 with a couple of fly balls. Don't know what the Tigers' plans are and how long it might take Guillen to get back into the outfield, but as you might remember, he was playing left field before the injury. He is DHing and probably will DH for a spell as he works himself back into full playing shape. But in the meantime, Thomas getting some opportunities, and Rayburn as well in the outfield.
Yeah, Jim said as much today. Didn't sound like he'd be in the outfield anytime soon.
No. Well, just having his presence and bat hopefully will give this club a lift. Two balls, 1 strike on Clete Thomas. Thomas this year has been pretty good with men in scoring position. 364 coming into action this afternoon. He's trying to get Polanco into scoring position here, though, with a base hit or more. Big swing and a miss. 2-2. Got him. Thomas records or becomes the 7th strikeout recorded by Contreras. Verlander back out with a 1-run lead. Fantasy football with more customizable features and new ways to play. Log on to foxsports.com on MSN and join the next generation of fantasy football. Won't be long before Ford Field is rocking. Football right around the corner. A.J. Pierzynski leads it off against Justin Verlander. Tight ball game today. Game 1 of the doubleheader. Tigers on top in this one, 2-1. A.J. 1 for 2. He reached on an air and scored a run back in the 4th, the only Chicago run so far. Verlander has walked 4 in this game. The strikeouts have been kept to a minimum, only 2. In fact, he's fanned Tomey twice. That's it. 2-1 on Pierzynski.
Pierzynski's first time up, he got him a fastball down at 95 miles an hour and simply dropped the bat head and singled sharply in the right field. So if you want to throw him a fastball, you want to stay away and up against A.J.
Hammered foul, back out of play. Tigers in the month of July have been pretty good, haven't they, in the pitching department?
Which kind of leads you to believe if they can continue to pitch. And they don't necessarily have to pitch as well as they've pitched here, but somewhat stay around that area. And the offense kind of perks up. And they're going to be in the race for the long haul, which is really all you can ask.
That's a pop-up left side for Brandon Inge. 1 out. And we'll bring up Carlos Quincy. We're talking about the Holiday trade last half inning. Holiday going to the St. Louis Cardinals. Apparently yesterday with Jared Washburn pitching here in Detroit, the Phillies had a scout watching him pitch here. Of course, the Phillies are being talked about in the Roy Halladay sweepstakes.
Seattle's in a tough spot.
They really are because, you know, they're starting to fall back a little bit, but they're still in it. That's popped up. Shallow right. Polanco is there.
I mean, you lost 100 games last year if you're the Seattle Mariners. And you're playing good baseball this year. You're 7 games over 500. How do you justify to your fans to get rid of one of your better pitchers?
Well, they're 5.5 out despite taking 2 out of 3 here against the Tigers.
And how much would Jaron Washburn get you in return?
Don't know.
I mean, is he going to get you a player or two that really helps you next year? It's a tough decision there in this year.
It is. I guess if you're looking at Washburn, you're looking at selling high because he's been really good this year. Getz fouls it straight back. Verlander had a relatively quick 5th inning, working on another one here in the 6th. If he can get Getz, it'll be a 1-2-3 frame. Just missed it. Whoa, 1 and 2, a little bit high.
He has not been given that pitch today.
94 pitches for Verlander. And that is that. He took care of Getz for his 3rd strikeout of the game. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Polanco would eventually cash him in.
Well, the Tigers have manufactured runs. This is the Blue double, and that was after a hustling play to get to third base by Everett on the base hit of Granderson. Then you got Cabrera also with a hustling double, getting to second, and then coming to third on a fly ball to the outfield by Guillen before Rayburn shows up.
And the blue pit drops in, scoring Cabrera. And the Tigers with a 2-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Big Miguel takes a big rip. Cabrera, Guillen, and Rayburn in the bottom of the 6th. 1 for 2 today for Miguel. Average right now at 328. A point higher than it was when he came into play today. Puts this one on the ground to the right side. Easy play for Getz in the backhand.
Hey, fan, the Tigers take on the White Sox at 4:05 as part of a Going Green weekend. The first 10,000 fans receive a reusable Tiger shopping bag. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Going Green weekend.
You know, we got a couple of those Going Green bags given to us before the game.
Yeah.
Nice giveaway.
What you going to do with yours?
I don't know. It looks like you could carry all your money in this. It's a big enough bag.
No, you can see through it now. I don't want nobody to know what I'm holding.
That's flared out to left. Took him all the way just about to the warning track, and Quentin runs it down. Guillen is out.
Meanwhile, Contreras is pitching as well today. Well, when he pitched against the Tigers when he first came back from AAA, he pitched 8 innings, did not give up a run in that game. But today, he's been stingy as well, striking out guys, pitching to a lot of contact early. Therefore, his pitch count not in all that bad a shape.
Rayburn doubled one in against Contreras in the 4th. Verlander, meanwhile, has scattered 3 hits in this game. Contreras has given up 6. Each team has won 4 in the season series. So these two teams deadlocked in the standings and in the season series as well. And this is going to be a quick 1-2-3 inning for Contreras. 6 in the books. Still 2-1 Detroit. Of the Detroit Tigers at Tigers.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic Tigers gear, including clubhouse caps and t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts, and a whole lot more. Get your Tigers gear straight from the source at the Tigers.com shop. Well, Justin Verlander strolling back out to the hill in the 7th. It is another tight ball game. The Tigers this time leading by a run, 2-1.
And this may be one of those days where Jim needs about 120. 125 pitches out of Verlander.
He's approaching 100 as we go to the 7th. So you're looking at what, maybe 2 more innings?
He'd like to get it out of him, that's for sure.
Fouled away, 1-1.
His breaking ball, he finally found the consistent arm slot with that pitch the last couple of innings. Earlier he was hanging a lot of breaking balls, and he also was throwing some fastballs that stayed up. Which has allowed his pitch count to get close to 100. But the last couple of innings, the breaking ball has been a better pitch for him.
4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams had been settled by 1 run, and that included the Verlander 2-1 win over John Danks back on June 10th. That'll go foul.
There's that 2-1 number again.
Well, how about it? Just it pops up everywhere.
It's there today.
The Tigers have lost quite a few 2-1 games, a couple of them in New York, against Seattle twice. Swing and a miss.
Nice change piece.
4 strikeouts for Verlander.
And let's take a look at this changeup by Verlander and Exmo. Verlander not afraid to throw his changeup to the right-handed hitters. It is a legitimate swing and miss pitch for him to go along with the fastball and the curveball.
And it's been a day in which he's not had to rely on the strikeouts, only 4. When he beat the White Sox back in June 10th, he struck out 9 in that game in 9 innings. Little chopper back up the middle. Polanco on the backhand, off balance throw. Nicely done. Wise is gone. 2 away.
When you have pitchers like Verlander and Jackson on the mound, guys that attack the strike zone with regularity, your defenders, they make plays behind you. They're always on their toes. Polanco knows he has to get rid of this ball in a hurry because of the speed of Wise. Throws off balance, but it's accurate, and he gets him by an eyelash.
He's having another great defensive year. Here's Ramirez. The more routine ground ball to Placido. And there's a quick 1-2-3 inning for Verlander. We go to the stretch. Tigers lead by 1. Speaking of pine tar, July 24th, 1983, this day in 83, remember the big George Brett pine tar incident?
Who's that, big Tim McClellan, home plate umpire?
It is. He's about to call him out after Brett hit a home run, saying, "Nope, you're out."
Billy Martin always stirring up some stuff.
When Brett came charging out of the dugout, veins are popping in his neck. They later overturned that in August. They said it was a legitimate home run. But one of the great or interesting moments in baseball history on this date back in 1983. And the Tigers lead here 2-1 in the bottom of the seventh, trying to get some more now. Inge, Laird, and Everett, bottom of their lineup against the right-hander Contreras. Brandon in the game, hit by a pitch and a strikeout. He's ahead 3-0. He's taking 3-1. And 2, Inge tried to coax a walk, but home plate umpire Rob Drake said, "Nope, that caught the strike zone on the inside part." Full count.
It's a gutsy pitch there by Contreras. 3 balls, 1 strike. Little fork ball that caught the inner third. And they know Brandon's a good fastball hitter.
They'll get back into the seats. Inge, 18 multi-RBI games this year. That leads the Tigers. Part of his terrific first half, which landed him in the All-Star game, thanks to the fan vote. He got him. Strike 3. Inge was on his way to first. He's going to be called back. 1 out. Strikeouts starting to pile up now for Contreras. That's 8 of them.
Awfully close.
It's lined to left and fair into the corner off the bat of Gerald Laird. G-Money is on his way to second with a double. 1 out, 2 base hit.
And whatever it was, Gerald Laird went out and caught it with one hand, and that ball just fair. Just fair down the left field line.
It's a rather large run standing at second base right now.
Well, they are all huge these days for the Tigers.
Adam Everett, a single and a run scored, 1 for 2. Wise just played him shallow out in center field. 0-1 on Everett.
We watched Wise go back on that ball yesterday to preserve the perfect game for Mark Burley. He has a lot of ability and confidence to do that.
With Laird at second base. Everett an RBI chance here, and he looks at another strike. 1 and 2.
That's one thing you notice about center fielders. You either see guys playing real shallow, like Wise does. Granderson plays very shallow center field. Vernon Wells, Torrey Hunter. Or you see guys play deep. Those guys don't feel as comfortable going back on balls.
Bertel warming up. Flared and in for a base hit. Laird coming around third. They're going to send it home, and he's safe. Gerald took off immediately and was able to score. A bloop single to center field just out of the reach of the defender, and the Tigers lead 3-1.
I think Everett hit it like Contreras threw it. It was a fork ball, a breaking ball down, and he caught it. Getz couldn't get there. Even though Wise was playing shallow, it was not hit hard enough for Wise to throw him out.
Gino waving him home from third base. Big hit for Adam Everett, his 28th RBI.
Everett was doing that with regularity earlier in the season. He was getting big hit after big hit for the Tigers in the month of April.
Gerald doing a little two-step down there. It is a 3-1 ball game, and that brings up Curtis Granderson. Randy is single in 3 at-bats. He's also struck out a couple of times. Ball 1.
Well, we saw Everett take off earlier in this game. It was on a 2-2 count, though. With 1 out, and Granderson singled sharply in the right field. And with this combination, you don't have to be the fastest base runner to exploit the weaknesses of Contreras and Przinsky. But then again, Granderson's so hard to double up. If you're Jim Leland, you kind of figure what to do.
Well, I'm also a little bit surprised at the percentage that Przinsky has put up. He came in at 9% of throwing runners out, which is extremely low. That's fouled back out of play. And Przinsky has had and has a decent arm, but these numbers, I mean, he's caught 6 guys this year.
Yes, that's not good.
Isn't that kind of stunning to you?
Well, you'd have to believe that he's not getting an opportunity to throw out a lot of guys with numbers like that, because I mean he may not have the strongest arm, but I mean his arm is decent enough.
Yeah. Let's hit the center field. Wise will make the play on this one.
But we also told you earlier that while Contreras has been on the mound, no one has been caught stealing. So apparently Contreras is one of the starters they have that's not giving AJ a legitimate chance to throw guys out. We know he gets time to throw when Burley's out there.
Here's Polanco. Tigers had 2 steals today. They entered the day last in the American League with 47 steals. But now they've moved in front of Baltimore and KC. Double by Laird, single by Everett. There's a strikeout. Placido 0-1.
Yeah, that's what Polanco will give you out of that 2 slot. Not afraid to take a strike, just in case Everett entertaining the thought of trying to steal second to get himself down in the scoring position. And he doesn't strike out all that often.
Oh, 2. Tigers today have out-hit Chicago 8-3. Verlander, who early in this game, in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, had to pitch out of jams, has been cruising for the most part from the 4th inning on. Oh, 2 on Placido Polanco. The one thing Contreras has been able to do is beat teams within his division. He is 10 games over 500 in his career against the Central. One and 2. Big hit from Adam Everett here in the 7th has extended the Tigers' lead to 3-1. Runner going. Here comes Przinsky's throw. This one is on target, not in time. Safe.
AJ could not make a better throw.
And he's upset. That ball was right on the money.
Could not make a better throw. That's Tim Timmons down at second. Good jump by Everett. The ball's up. It's a good ball to throw. He throws it. The only thing that he may have been able to do is get the ball down closer to the bag, which means that Alexi does not have to go as far to make the tag.
Now here comes Ozzie Guillen, and he wants to talk with Tim Timmons. Timmons was kind of waving him back. He made a walk It started out toward the home plate umpire. Now it's moved out to the second base umpire.
Well, Ozzie doing exactly as good managers do in situations like this. When you feel like you had a legitimate chance of getting a guy out, you don't get that call. Then you go out and you talk about it. Ramirez also made his mistake by catching that ball in front of the bag. If he's straddling second base and he allows the ball to carry all the way, all he has to do is drop the tag on Everett. But by catching it where he caught it, you catch it out in front, and then you have to reach back to try to tag Everett as he's sliding by. Take a look here. He's out in front, which means he has to now catch it and then reach back. And that may have been the difference in Everett being safe and out.
I think you're right. I think from the naked eye, it looked like he was out. A bang-bang play, but the replay seemed to indicate that he was in there. The 2-2. Shot to right field. Here comes Dye. It's going to drop. Base hit. Everett will score. It rolls by Jermaine Dye, and Polanco will go to second.
What a huge knock. As a matter of fact, they've gotten 2 huge knocks in this inning.
4-1 Tigers.
Polanco, one of the toughest in the American League to strike out. It looked like he reached down and got a ball that was out of the strike zone and flipped it down the right field line. It is a ball. He just flips it. Dye over aggressively comes in. Ball goes through his legs, and he gets an error by allowing Polanco to get to second.
A couple of balls that have just died into right field have produced a couple of big runs for Detroit. They now lead 4-1.
They will look like bullets in that box score tomorrow.
That's all that matters. Now Thomas trying to drive in another. 45 RBIs, 2 on the day for Polanco. So that stolen base call, huge. Krasinski able to stop it, and Polanco will not go anywhere. 9 Tigers hits, and they lead by 3. Meanwhile, Verlander getting a few runs to work with today. Last time he beat the White Sox, it was 2-1. 3 balls, no strikes. Contreras has now thrown 115 pitches. There's a strike, 3-1.
Contreras, his pitch count was in pretty good shape before this inning started.
Yeah, it was. A season high in pitches thrown by Contreras. Tigers have worked him over pretty good here in the 7th. And there's another walk. 27 pitches this inning. That'll put runners at first and second. That's going to signal the end for Jose Contreras. Octavio Dotel has been warming up, and he's about to come into this ballgame. Wallside windows pitching change. Dotel being summoned into the game. We'll be back.
Forkball, devastating pitch for him. He's also touching 93, 94 with his fastball. He hit one and only walked one. And so for the Tigers to have 4 runs against Contreras is a nice job today. Yeah, he did not pitch a bad game this afternoon for the White Sox.
So Contreras goes 6 2/3. The man on the base is still his property with 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 9 hits allowed.
And we do know that Cabrera loves to swing at that first pitch. Should he get a fastball from Dotel, who has a lot of strikeouts this year. And he got pretty good numbers, 10 holds, but he's lost 3, and he's won 1.
Miguel going after the first pitch, 0-1 the count.
Words starting to circulate around the league about Cabrera, that he loves that first pitch, which causes him to get a lot of breaking balls from opposing pitchers. And a lot of times, opposing pitchers don't have good command with that breaking ball. So he's sitting in a pretty good hitter's count after that, 1-0.
Fouled away, no balls, 2 strikes. A little bit of history between these two. Dotel and Cabrera, 2 for 10 for Miguel with a home run, but he's also fanned 6 times. The well-traveled Octavio Dotel.
Cabrera got a good pitch to hit right there. Hanging breaking ball. 0-2. Usually you don't get away with those.
Doubled, scored a run back in the 4th. Swing and a miss. Dotel dusts him and the side retired. But the Tigers get a couple of big runs for Verlander. Will go to the 8th. It's now 4-1.
Blanco, a little bloop single, and Everett bloop single as well. They'll take it.
See if the Tigers can get another inning out of Justin here as we start the 8th inning. It'll be Dye, Tomey, and Konerko, 3 tough hitters. But Justin has given up 3 hits in this game. There's a strike called, 1-1 on Jermaine Dye. 0 for 2 with a walk. One ball, 2 strikes. It was looking early on in this game, especially in the 2nd and the 3rd, when Verlander was walking a total of 3 batters, that He may not have a chance to pitch into the 8th, but he really settled in nicely in the following innings. The Sea Lion combination warming up. That's popped in the air to shallow right field. Clee Thomas coming in. 1 out. Eight straight retired by Verlander.
Well, you have to keep Tommy in the ballpark. You'll give up a single, but you do not want him trotting around the bases.
Tommy, a couple of strikeouts and a walk. 0-1 on Tommy. High fly ball into left field. Rayburn into the sun. 2 gone. Well, coming up, game 2 in the doubleheader. 6:30 airtime with Tigers Live. Bartolo Colon and Eddie Bonine for game 2. Tigers baseball brought to you by Bell Tire, and we'll have both of them for you. Now Verlander facing Paul Konerko. High towering fly ball to center field. Granderson started back. Now he's coming in, and he'll make the catch. 3 fly ball outs. Verlander cruising 10 straight retired. Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit. Brought to you by Bell Tire. Baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, standing the test of time since 1849. Justin Verlander dominant again here today for the Tigers as they take a 4-1 lead into the 8th inning now. In the bottom of the 8th inning, and Placido Polanco 3 for 3, couple of RBIs. Verlander, you see his numbers. Tigers have 3 steals today, which ties the season high for a ball game.
Looks like Verlander coming back out. The Tigers bullpen is quiet. Usually Rodney would be up and throwing if he was coming into the game.
Well, I think that very quick 1-2-3-8 had a lot to do with that.
First 5 innings today, Verlander needed 85 pitches. The 6th through 8th, only 25 pitches. That's the difference.
Guillen shatters his bat, rolls it into right field, a base hit. His first hits. He's coming off the disabled list.
The hits have not been all that pretty today for the Tigers, but they will take any and all of them. Any and all of them. Just to finish that thought on Verlander, we talked about it early. Great pitchers. If you don't get them early, you allow them to settle in. It's going to be a long day for your offense. The White Sox had some chances early. They allowed Verlander to settle in, and he got dominant in the last 2-3 innings.
After the fourth, they couldn't do anything. He's retired 10 straight. Here's Rayburn. Tigers now quietly have put up 10 hits in this game. Rayburn fouls it off. Beckham was on the grass thinking maybe bunt. There goes the runner. And he bunts one foul.
I'm wondering if that was a missed sign. Usually you don't see guys taking off and then the hitter bunting. If you're the hitter and you know the steal is on, you usually don't try to bunt. So therefore it tells me that there may have been someone that missed the hit and run there, whether it be Rayburn or whether it be Carlos. Could have very easily been Carlos. I don't want to single him out, but it's been a while since he's taken some signs from Gene Lamont, his first day off the disabled list. But I don't know for sure.
0-2. Hammered foul. And back to first base, his single here in the 8th inning, giving the Tigers 10 hits. Tigers got 1 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th. They scored 2 runs in the 7th. And Justin Verlander has done the rest. One ball, 2 strikes on Ryan Rayburn. There goes the runner again. And Rayburn just trying to get out of the way, fouled it off. So they sent Guillen on a 1-2 pitch. Carlos heading back to first base. Octavio Dotel has been in the big league since 1999. When he broke in with the New York Mets.
He was a starter back in those days.
Had a couple of decent years as a closer. The 2004 season, Oakland picked him up down the stretch, saved 22 games for them. And he finished with 36 that year. Fouled away again by Rayburn. Brandon Inge waiting on deck. This one down the right field line, but it's going to go foul. And Rayburn right now making life miserable for Dotel. Ryan had a bloop double back of the 4th to drive in a run. That gave the Tigers a 2-1 lead. It's a lead that they've held since then. Meanwhile, Dotel is about ready to serve up his 10th pitch in this at bat. Fans are getting impatient. Roll this one toward third base. They'll go to second one, and that's all they get. Rayburn aboard on the fielder's choice.
Hey fans, be at Comerica Park this Sunday for the 8:05 game against the White Sox. All kids 14 and under receive a Rick Porcello poster. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com.
So we had the Edwin Jackson poster earlier, and now the Rick Porcello poster coming up.
Rick Porcello pitching that night too? Sunday night?
He is.
How about that?
Perfect timing. Yeah. Pitch out, and Dotel almost threw it away. Porcello, he got a little bit of a break heading into the All-Star break. He's made one start in the second half. And he threw that one away. Rayburn going down to second base. It's going to be the second error of this game for Chicago. They had 70 on the season, 70 errors. Only Kansas City and Seattle had committed more this year.
Yeah, nothing Konerko could do. Dotel uncorked one right at Rayburn. And it appeared to hit the umpire.
Ooh, ricocheted.
Which allowed Rayburn to get to second.
1-1 on Brandon Inge. Hit by a pitch back in the fourth. He's fanned a couple of times. Boy, Dotel has really labored here in the eighth. He came on and struck out Cabrera quite easily to end the seventh, but he's thrown a lot of pitches in this half inning. Here's a strike call. 2-2. Inge staying alive. First of four between these two this weekend. They came in tied for first place in the Central. The Tigers then will hit the road again. They're going to Texas to start the next road trip. Then Cleveland. Outside, 3 balls, 2 strikes. He fouls off another. On the ground to the shortstop, Ramirez. Oh, he bobbled it. Everybody is safe, and that's going to be the third error of the game for Chicago. First and third. Routine ground ball there.
Yep. Nothing tricky about it. Took his eye off of the last moment. So look at the base runner, which is what you see guys do often.
So now Gerald Laird with runners at first and third. Ball 1. Three errors today for the White Sox. So not only Seattle has committed more errors in the American League than Chicago. There's a strike on the outer edge, 1-1 on Gerald Laird, who doubled and scored as part of that big 2-run seventh inning. This inning started with the shattered bat single for Carlos Guillen. Now 2-1. Rayburn reaching on a fielder's choice. Bad pickoff throw moved him up, and a routine ground ball by Inge was booted by the shortstop Ramirez.
Laird should get a real good pitch to hit here. But the key is not to get greedy. It is simply try to hit a fly ball to center field or right field. If you hang something, you go to left.
Can't throw a strike now. 3-1.
Nothing changes. Your thought process has to be the same. Drive the run in and keep it off the ground.
Runner goes from first on a squeeze. Both runners coming, and the run will score. Gerald Laird drops down the bunt on a 3-1 pitch, scoring Rayburn. I think Leland just got tired of waiting.
Well, we talked about Laird. I think it was the last time he came up. There was a runner on third base, and we talked about the fact that Jim not afraid to squeeze with Laird. But the timing is perfect here by Rayburn at third. He does not leave too early, which means that all Laird has to do is get the ball down in fair territory, which he's able to do, and it works to perfection.
And a 5-1 Tigers lead. They push across another run.
Perfectly done.
Laird gets his 24th RBI.
Here he goes.
1 ball, 1 strike on Everett.
Can't throw him out.
Big day for Everett. 2 singles, an RBI. He has stolen the base and scored a couple of runs.
Dotel continues to get underneath his fastball from that angle that he is throwing from. He just cannot get on top of the ball. Everything is floating up in the strike zone. All his fastballs anyway.
Tigers today have played some serious small ball. They have scored, I should say they have stolen 3 bases, 1 sac fly. They have a squeeze now to the collection. All backing up Justin Verlander, who has given up just 3 hits today for the Tigers. The 2-2 is in the air. Right side of the infield. Getz is under it, and that is that. But the Tigers able to get another run. Will go to the 9th inning. Verlander will come out, try and finish this one off against Pierzynski, Quinton, and Getz. Doubleheader. The Tigers trying to go back into first place by themselves with a win. 3 hits allowed by Verlander. It'll be Pierzynski, Quinton, and Getz here in the 9th. A.J. Pierzynski 1 for 3, also reaching on an error and scoring a run. And then Verlander goes to work in the 9th. First pitch strike, 0-1. Came into this inning with 110 pitches under his belt.
The most that he's thrown this year has been 122. He's done that on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, back into center field, a base hit.
Hanging breaking ball.
Leadoff single here in the 9th inning. The Tigers do have some action in their pen just in case Justin needs some help. Carlos Quinton coming up. Fernando Rodney tuning up. Quinton takes a strike, 0-1. Carlos Quinton, a double and a walk in this game today against Verlander. There's another strike. 0-2. This has not been a big strikeout game for Verlander. He has fanned just 4, but up until that single by Pierzynski, he had retired the last 10 straight. That's drilled to center field. Granderson backs off, plays it on a hop, and here come the White Sox in the 9th inning, back-to-back hits. Which is making the decision a little bit more difficult now for Jim Leyland. Jim's starting to pace a little bit in the Tigers dugout. He's on the phone himself now. And here comes Rick Knapp. He'll take a trot out to the mound.
Rodney did not get up until the inning started, which means he's not nearly close to being ready. So they're going to buy a little time for Fernando, just in case this inning unravels for Verlander.
Singles by Pierzynski and Quinton. Verlander's pitch count right now stands at 115. .122 is his season high, and there's a base hit to left field. And now the bases are loaded for the White Sox.
He's going to send Laird out to talk to Verlander now, and then Jim's probably going to make a decision going to get him.
Well, now you got to start thinking about winning the game. The run the Tigers got in the 8th was huge to make it a 4-run game, but the tying run will be coming to the plate. And Leyland wants to know, is he ready?
Yeah, Rodney takes a while to get ready.
He does.
But by the time Jim takes a slow walk out there, Rodney can throw a couple more pitches and get ready. Should he want to go get him?
Here comes Beckham now, the number 9 hitter. Verlander will throw from the windup. Breaking ball, strike 1. Gordon Beckham, sac fly back in the 4th, knocking in a run. One and one. Bouncing ball back to the mound. Verlander. 1, 2, 3. Double play. Oh, is that huge? Just what the doctor ordered.
Tremendous poise here by Verlander, knowing what to do with this baseball. So many pitches would have turned and tried to go 6-4-3. But he knew the bases were loaded. He fired a strike to Laird, which gave Laird plenty of time to get the ball down to Cabrera to complete the double play.
And now Dwayne Wise, the last chance for the White Sox. Better than 27,000 on their feet.
Verlander doing here this afternoon exactly what you want your ace to do.
The 0-1. Ooh, we almost hit him.
99 with that last fastball. 119 pitches into the game. He's amazing. Amazing.
Swing and a miss. 99 again.
He's a freak.
Best way to put it. All the way. I mean, it's one thing for a guy to walk out of the pen and throw 100 miles an hour, but for a guy to be throwing all day. 123 pitches into this game. Sniffing 100 miles an hour. Here's the 1-2. Yeah, missed it.
Oh, my goodness.
Weiss had no chance to pull the trigger there.
Oh, brother. Drake should have just called that for GP. General purposes.
Found a way, 2-2.
You're a coward, Wise. Hit the other way.
General purposes.
Yeah, he should have called that a strike. Oh, my goodness. It was close enough.
Verlander trying to finish this one off. And a ground ball foul.
This is the second time Wise has done this today.
Go, Wise.
And I'm talking about seeing a lot of pitches. Back in the fourth inning, he saw quite a few. Finish him off, JB.
Bouncing ball to short should do it. Everett has it. Third complete game of the season for Justin Verlander, who nails down a big Tigers win.
At the start of the day today, there was a totally different buzz in the ballpark. And he's why. JV, Justin Verlander.